Bhajani Taigo Radharadeshyam Japo Hare Krishna Hare Ram. Jay Sri Radhe and welcome. Charit Sudha, The Life of Love, biography of Sri Srimad Radharaman Charan Das Dev, the veritable embodiment of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's universal religion of love, by Dr. o.b.l Kapoor, Sri Mahavira Radharaman Charan Das Dev ki Jai, Jai Nimai, Jai Nitai, Jai Jai Sri Radheshyam. Ceremony is connected with Lord Jagannath, the cleansing of the garden house of the Lord. Lord Krishna came back to Vrindavan on the morrow. Sri Radha was all but dead all this time during the long spell of separation. Now she is austere, eager to see her lover again, eager to serve him with all her heart. She bids her maidens to be all attention. She exhorts them to make everything ready for his reception. The bower of dalliance must be cleansed, flowers plucked, garlands made, the bed of roses, the sandal paste and all other accessories made ready for the great occasion. This is the underlying idea of the cleansing ceremony. It was introduced by Sri Chaitanya when he was at Nilachal playing the part of Radha in the guise of a sannyas. It was continued for some time even after the disappearance of the Lord, but then it came to be discontinued for some reason or another. Babaji Mahasai worked upon the Mahantas of the leading mats and made them really rally round the banner of Sri Chaitanya in their united effort to renew the Lila of the eve of the great Ratha Yatra ceremony. The day dawned, and Babaji Mahasai planned with his party in the Narendra Sarovar, perambulate the temple of Lord Jagannath, then enter and offer the morning service, partook of the Balava Bhog Prasad, and went straight into the Lala Babus at the southern gate of the Lord's temple. Thence they proceed to Gambhira, the residence of Lord Gauranga, and saw that the leading party set out on the sacred mission of the day. They came back to Sri Jagannath Balava and found everything ready. All were eagerly waiting for them with coals and cartels and brooms and pitchers necessary for the day's work in the service of the Lord. They were hailed with cries of Hari Bol, and they came, and Venerable Raghunath Das and Haridev Goswamis made their appearance on the scene. They marched on and entered the Gandija Mandir, the garden house of the Lord. The Venerable Goswamis began to sweep at Ranna Bedi, the jewel seat of the Lord, while others swept away all the dirt and the dust in every creek and corner of the temple. They swept the floor, they swept the walls, but the ceiling was high up overhead. One stood on the shoulder of another, and so shouldering on, they reached the top and swept the ceiling too. Then came the washing. Parhababai Mahasai cried, "Water!" and they ran to draw water from the wells. Some in their eagerness fetched water from the Indradyumna Sarovar and came pitcher in hand, pitcher on the head, and fast as legs could carry to the spot. They were all in a bustle, working heart and soul merrily together, crying, handing over, filling and carrying, putting and washing, singing and dancing in heavenly glee in all parts of the temple, the yard, the garden, and the royal road. Then followed an incident which altogether transformed, etherealized, spiritualized the world scene. Venerable Raghunath passed into a trance, jumped down from the Ratnavedi and began to dance. He had a vision and said that Nitai and Gaur were there. Bhargava was there, of course. He had a vision and said that Nitai and Gaura were there, dancing and cleansing the temple along with them. Babaji Mahasai caught out the trance and sang, Lo, there my Nitai Gaur, dancingly, Sri Advaita Gadadhar and all company. And what was the result? Babaji Mahasai was wrapped in the spiritual vision of the Lord, and he transmitted this spiritual force into the hearts of all those present on the scene. He was the dynamo, so to speak, of the electrified, spiritualized, those that came under his influence. The Venerable Goswami was already entranced, and he swooned away under the mighty influx of spiritual energy. All were absent, abstract, drowned, and lost to the world of senses. Differential differences were not more. A sense of pervading unity drowned them all. They knew not where they were. They hardly knew what they did. So emptied the pictures on the head of others. Some stood still, root to the spot. Some danced with arms upraised. Some laughed in a loud uproar. Some skipped, some tripped, some fell on the ground and shed tears of joy. But what does all this mean? It is hypnotism? No, it's just the reverse. It is the de-hypnotism. We are all hypnotized, deluded into the belief that our self is inseparable, associated with our flesh and blood, that we are wholly concerned with our experience in the external world, that the attainment of sensuous pleasure is the one end and aim of human existence, that we live only so long as we are in touch with the world of senses, and that we die when we shuffle off this mortal coil, which binds us down to the world. But this is not the world truth. They know, who have finer experience of the finer truth. There is the subtle body, the linga sarira, which persists after the dissolution of the flesh. And then there is the spirit body, the bhava-deha, which is eternal, in which enable us to take part in the eternal leelas of our eternal Lord. It is in us all, Jai-Jai-Ho, each and every one of the erring sons of men, for we are all the eternal servants of our eternal Lord. It is for us to throw off the veil and discover our true selves in the eternal service of the Lord. The gracious appearance of the Lord and his own men helps us in the matter and reveal the truth. And then we can see things as they are. We can see God. We can see our true selves. We can see the relation in which we stand to our Lord. We get the passport to the eternal Lord of eternal leelas and eternal bliss. Jai Ho, Jai Radharaman. This is what happened in the twinkling of an eye in the company of our Bhargava Mahasai in the Gundiya Mandir of the Lord. Words fail to describe the true feeling of the fortunate souls who came to take part in the preceding of the cleansing ceremony. It is enough to say that they felt they were actually in the company of Sri Chaitanya and his blessed band of devotees who inaugurate the same ceremony more than 500 years ago, 400 since Bhadevava time. Anyone who is really eager to feel what they felt may go and participate in the ceremony, which is perpetuated by his followers to the present day, and then he will have a better idea of the blissful is seen than what a feeble pen can give in the dull pages of a book. 𝐿𝐻𝐿. The car festival of Jagannath. It was morning. All were astir in the temple of the Lord. They tied the image with costly bands and ligaments of diverse colors and started the Pahandi Vijay. Pahandi Vijay is the expression literally means in Urhija, walking on legs. The images are apparently sit successively on the large round pads of cotton arranged in a row for the occasion, but the devotee sees that the Lord actually walks at ease over the bales and makes his way to the car. So when Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra are coming out from the temple and they're pulling them, and they looks like they're like walking like this. Parhabhavaji Mahasai came and stood watching the progressive movement of the Lord. As he passed on from one round path to another, till his heart was full, and he sang, swinging and swaying comes he, Gauranga, the golden dancing glee, Svarup Ramananda on either side, Gauranga is Radha in love's full tide. The Lord himself was the light, and seemed to smile. The pad of cotton gave way under him, and it seemed that heart of Parhabhavaji Mahasai burst out like the natural spring into rills and streams of joy that thrilled the audience and inundate their soul. They joined and cries of Hari Bol, which followed. In the midst of these raptures, the Lord ascended the car. The Kalavetias, these are tenanted laborers for dragging the car, set their hands on the ropes. The visitors cry Hari Bol. At the pitch of their voice, the conches began to blow. The auspicious note of Ulu was heard. The sound of the Jankar Jai Kansar deafened the ears. The mirdangam, the madals, and the jans of the kirtanias were rendered the sky when the voice of Babai Mahasai rose in the air. He had been looking steadfastly on the face of the Lord, and now he began to sing as the car moved on. He sung and he danced he danced on, and after some time began to sing the Divine Madness song. This Divine Madness song of Sri Chaitanya is to be found in the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, the wonderful learned biography of Sri Chaitanya by Sri Krishna Das Kaviraj. Of Sri Chaitanya on seeing Lord Jagannath. This is the madness song. He went on in the same strain as did Sri Chaitanya on the same spot on the same occasion. Tears came streaming down his chest as he was with proper gestures and telltale look speaking to his Lord in his heart of hearts. He was dancing one foot on another in his own charming way, dancing, it seemed, in the vicinity of Lord Gaurangas as one of his own men in the Nitya Lila, enchanting, enthralling those that came in his way, to the delight of Lord Jagannath, who slackened the speed of the car to hear him sing and see him dance. The car stopped, and Bhoga was offered up to the Lord. Parhabhavaji Mahasai stood stock still and seemed to be looking out anxiously for some dear one he had lost. This shows that the whole thing is not the creation of a poet's imagination, but the close pursuit of the truth of truth. The devotees seek to see God, God appears as Sri Gauranga dancing and singing his own lila in Vrindavan. He appears and there is joy. Then he disappears and there is agony and distress. He was only for a moment, and the next moment he was altogether changed. The cheeks were flushed, and tears began to pour. He tried to speak, but his voice was choked. He could not speak. He groaned in agony and fainted away as he fell down on the ground. All the 8 Satvikaras took possession of him at one and the same time. His copious tears wetted the road and made it muddy. The mighty frame trembling all over made them tremble. Who came in contact with him? The hair stood on end, and his whole body was like the ripe Kentucky fruit, bristling with eruptions, so to speak. Now he grew large, and then he grew thin. Sometimes he clenched his fist and then he slackened. He groaned, he foamed, he rubbed his face on the ground in a violent paroxysm of the pining passion, viraha, till at last he came to be half conscious in the ardhavagya state, when he took his friend Navadvip Das by the neck and sang in a subdued tune. We must do I have to do an important point, because what we are reading here is not the Sri Gauranga Lila in this moment, is Sri Bhargava, is Sri Radharaman Charan Das Dev, that he grew large and then grew thin, means that his body was expanding and contracting, just as Sri Gauranga did in the same time in the Lila. It's incredible that his body was transforming. And then he took his friend Navadvip Das by the neck and sang in a subdued tone, "To whom shall I confide the sore distress, the heart-rending pang, not to see Gauranga's face? Where is Barupa, Rama Roy, Nityananda? Where is Srivas, Gadadhar, Advaita Chand, Sri Rupa, Sri Sanata, Murari, Mukunda? Oh, where is Haridas? Where Shivananda?" Just now, Gauranga with his troop of devotees danced before the car in divine ecstasies. The same Jagannath, the same stately car. Where hides my Gauranga? Where, oh where? I had ascend the pyre, poison I had take, drawn myself in the deep, to the waters betake. I saw him dancing, brimming o'er with love. And then I lost him, my treasure, my love. Why live bereft? What joy, what life? Oh, the flinty heart would not break in the strife. He wept and wept bitterly when Navadvip sang out, "Lo, there's Gauranga with his party there. Let's go and see him dancing behind the car." At this, Bhargava Mahasai clasped him to his chest and said tearfully, "What can I give you, brother, in return? You buy me stride, you give me Gauranga." Jai Radharaman Charan Das Dev ki Jai, Sri Chalit Sudha ki Jai, Life of Love ki Jai, Navadvip Das ki Jai, Puja Pad Lalita Shaki ki Jai, Ramdas Bhavai Maharaj ki Jai, Gaurangas Bhavai Maharaj ki Jai, Tin Haridas Bhavai Maharaj ki Jai, Chaitanya Charandas Bhavai Maharaj ki Jai. Jai Nitai, Jai Gaurya, Jai Sri Radheshyam. Thanks for watching and see you in the next. Jai Sri Radhe.